Good afternoon, it's 1:30 and I'm Chloe Novicki with your Solent Journalism Radio Bulletin. Our top story: businesses and homes in Southampton town centre are without power this morning after a power cut. Both Bar, Westquay and Bargate are all badly affected. We have Bianca Capatina in the studio to give us more information about the power cut. Hello Bianca, could you tell me more about it?
Hello Chloe. Yes, so the power went out around 11 a.m. this morning, and it's the SO14 postcode area that is at the center of the power loss. Essentially, it's most shops from TK Maxx down to above Bar, except for Primark, which seems to be doing just fine.
When do you think the power will be back?
The power company, Scottish and Southern Electric, say that they hope to have the power back by 3 p.m., so we're going to have to wait and see.
Thank you very much, Bianca. Supermarkets in Southampton are facing shortages of tomatoes, cucumbers and peppers. Since last December, eggs are also limited to customers. Now it's turn for vegetables. Supermarket had to put restriction on those items. Bad weather in Europe, Brexit and fuel costs for farmers are all being blamed. Concerns have been raised regarding the financial situation of Southampton City Council. As we reported earlier, council tax is going to rise in Southampton by 2.99% from April. But in an interview with Solent Journalism, Steve Lidgett, the cabinet member for Finance and Change, has told us how much of an impact inflation had on this year's budget.
We've seen a lot of impact. Energy prices are rocketing. The council spends will spend next year about 24 million on energy, and that's doubled in 3 years. So if you go back in time, the energy bill was somewhere in the region of about 5 million, so you can see the massive increases. Inflation, so our budget is set in February, and all the assumptions about inflation and interest rates and pay awards actually were wildly inaccurate because of the spike in inflation. And of course, in September last year, we had the mini budget from Kwasi Kwarteng, and that really severely impacted us because of our borrowing, and interest rates rocketed. So we see lots of inflationary pressures in our supply chain, energy prices, and also in demand.
Anti-racism campaigner Troy Townsend was at Solent University yesterday talking to sport and journalism students. He's an ambassador for the Kick It Out campaign that fights racism in football. He told students the abuse at the amateur level of the game is terrible and needs to be tackled.
Last night, like I said, a manager in non-league was racially abused. His wife was abused with some language that I can't repeat. And yet the game wasn't stopped to protect him in the dugout and his wife over the other side of the dugout, who had their 5 and 7-year-old young girls in there, asking mummy why those people are calling her a really, really nasty word. I said that every time I speak up and speak out, I question whether I still have a job. So every time I criticise and say the Premier League have got to do better, the FA have got to do better, you know, whatever, the Super League has got to do, I get criticised. And I feel that, right, I'm strong enough in my own convictions and beliefs that I understand what has happened, and I want to talk on behalf of those people. So I put my job at risk. If it was on the street, it would be a hate crime. It would be a hate crime. People would go to court. It's on a green pitch. It's acceptable. How?
This was Troy Townsend. You can find out more on our website. The availability of youth support is so important for each young person. Jan Stickland, the founder of a local Southampton Youth Project charity, will tell us more.
Every young person should be confident that there is a safe and trusted environment that they can either go to, or a safe and trusted relationship that they could access should they wish to. Now, I don't mind whether that's clearly with the school, whether it's with a project like ours, whether it's signposted from other agencies. To have the trust and safety of an adult, I think every young person should have the ability to do that and the confidence to do that if it's right for them at that point in time. I think some of this also stretches into support and education of young parents, young adults, about the power in the role modelling that you and I do as adults to others around us, whether that's through how we express our views on social media or whatever it is. Our young people can't fail to be influenced by that, and why would then we be surprised that that has an impact on them and their futures? And I think we all have an accountability to make the best effort we can to be role models.
And now in some sports, Southampton caretaker manager Ruben Silic takes charge of his second match this weekend, a vital game against relegation rivals Leeds United. A win for Saints could lift them out of the Premier League relegation zone. That's all from us for today. You can find all our stories and more at solentjournalism.co.uk. You can tune in for our TV bulletin at 3 p.m. Goodbye.